When you photograph these sites, you can see that many of them are sitting on either exposed bedrock or exposed granite rocks, on slopes that no modern person would ever camp on. There may be 18 inches of drop between one end of the lodge, the high end of the lodge, and the low end of the lodge, which is a slope that nobody would camp on today. So that bothered us for a long, long time until we built a wiki up and padded the wiki up with 4 or 5 hefty trash bags full of pine duff. This stuff right here, you can gather it up easily and you can put it into a bag or into a basket prehistorically and dump it on the ground, and in about an hour you can create a really nice soft bed. The thing about this nice soft bed is that it's really easy to lose stuff in it, which is what has worked out so well for us because people lost a lot of stuff in it. But we think that the wooden superstructures held back the duff on the inside of the lodge, and that these were probably really well padded nests in a way. They were very nest-like. I think the floor probably started here where my foot is and continued across to Hallie and William's knees. I would say that the floor level when this was occupied was up here. That's my guess. It's hard to tell. There have been forest fires through here. There's been a lot of erosion, but I'm guessing that there's a good 30 centimeters of duff that is missing from all of these now. And in some of the lodges that I've measured, there's 50 centimeters of duff missing because there are retaining walls that are that high. So I think these were very soft, forgiving spaces, very comfortable spaces. And I also think that's why the wooden superstructures is so high on some of them, is that they were retaining a lot of duff on the downhill side. The duff is created by the rain of pine needles off the white bark pines. There have been probably a couple of fires through here since the site was last occupied. The most recent fire was the Lake Louise fire in 1978, but prior to that there was another fire that killed off some of the older trees that you see here. There are white bark pines that are probably on the order of 1,000 years old. They've been dead for 400 years and they were 600 years old when they died. So I think that 2 fires have probably removed most of the duff, and the duff that you're seeing right now is just recently accumulated since probably 1978. There was a lot of duff. It's really easy to gather up enough duff to build a bed. And once you slept on it, you know why you do it. It's really nice. This is probably one of the more comfortable places to camp in Wyoming. It's as good as a sand dune, if not better.
Everyone knows about Pompeii. This is a real Pompeii premise here. You quite literally remove that duff that Rich has just been talking about, and the floor of it's right there. It's in contact with the eroding duff. So the new duff that has fallen since the old duff was burned or removed is a real tight bed of stuff. It's got a lot of mycelium in it. It's real organic layer, and it's about 1 centimeter thick, and it's as they walked away. It's beautiful.
Right.
You could if you could get a leaf blower, you could excavate these sites.
The artifacts were resting on kind of an O horizon that Bryan was saying. It's just cemented together with mycelium, and then boy, you get into that, then there's a little bit of black, and then you're through it. All the artifacts are in a layer about that thick.
So the reason we chose this to dig is because it's only one of 4 lodges up here that have wooden superstructure.
Right.
And we tested one, and it's not great. It didn't have much artifacts in it. They had just found 4,000 artifacts in the one to the west here, and if it was one, it should have something in it. And it would be one of the few that actually has wooden superstructure remaining on it. So we decided to give it a shot. We just did basically a little shovel test, and that's where we found the 300 artifacts. From there, it really grew.